Persona 4 has had more than a few games by now. In 2007, we had the original PlayStation 2 classic, that later received its enhanced Golden port for the Vita in 2011. Soon after that, a spin-off fighting game was introduced, followed by its own re-release, and now we have the latest game starring the investigation team. Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Dancing All Night is Atlus's first attempt at a rhythm game, and being a company that specializes in RPGs, I wasn't exactly sure what to make of Dancing All Night's gameplay. But I'm happy to report that Atlus actually succeeded in making a quality product. And that's it. Okay, review's done, bye! Just kidding. I mean, it's a good product, but there's more to the review, obviously. It is true that overall I did enjoy this different style of Persona gameplay, but I find it hard to sell to people that aren't either hardcore Persona fans or avid rhythm enthusiasts. That and a few odd gameplay decisions may have stopped me from giving this game as high of acclaim compared to other titles that Atlus has produced. The game itself is broken into two separate main modes, story and free dance. The story of Dancing All Night is told to us mostly through character artwork layered on top of background images. These scenes for the majority are all voice acted, but all eternal monologues must be read to fully understand the narrative. It is true there are full-length animated sequences, but they are used quite sparingly through the 12-hour adventure, favoring the primary main cutscene format. This is to be expected, of course, and thankfully both of these storytelling devices are visually appealing, even if a few of the static backgrounds are reused maybe a little too often. But the plot itself has its ups and downs. Without giving too much away, Rise Kujikawa needs the help of her friends from the investigation team to assist her in her re-entry into the idol industry. During their training for the upcoming Love Meets Bonds concert, they are sucked into a midnight stage world and must yet again go on another strange journey. This time around though, shadows cannot be defeated by sheer force. Only through the power of dance can the team defeat their adversaries. Now it is true that using the power of dance to battle hordes of enemies is not an entirely new concept to Persona. But never before has the presentation value been so high. Various locales and stages are performed on during the main story, and you'll never dance in the same location twice. But where the story falls short, though, is how routine it soon becomes. A large block of the story is composed of repeating the same formula 2 times, after which you're given control of another cast of characters where you do the same thing again for a total of 4 almost exact events. Luckily, the game switches control to a third protagonist to keep things fresh. Aside from a few mild pacing issues though, the story mode experience is an enjoyable one. Seeing your favorite party members from Persona 4 make a return and interacting with each other is always a treat. And there are tons of great lines to remind fans exactly why we love these characters so much.
Such passionate cheers from the ladies! I'm feeling the heat now! And that being said, bring on the cup step!
But the primary focus of this game is actually on the new characters introduced in the form of the Konami Kitchen Idol group. Their inclusion at first may make some fans confused, but this group and its members do eventually lead to a couple of interesting story segments that highlight on some of the less than positive sides of the modern entertainment industry. In short though, the narrative is a step above what we're used to seeing in other spin-offs, but still does not come anywhere close to the main source material in terms of literary accomplishment.
Hello, I'm Konami Mashita, your prize cow. My meat is marbled, my movement is slow, and I sleep off every meal.
Where you'll be spending most of your time, however, is in the free dance mode, where yellow notes appear from the center of the screen and fly out to the left and right sides. You then press the note with its corresponding button in rhythm with the song to boost your score. That in itself may not be anything new for this style of game, but Dancing All Night does a few things to shake up the formula. There are also these green notes that require you to hold down a button and purple ones that require you to perform the standard action twice in unison. But the inclusion of a fourth type of note is by far what makes Persona 4 Dancing All Night the most unique. These fever rings can be ignored entirely, with no major repercussions if you'd like, but by flicking the analog stick or pressing either of the triggers, these rings can extend your combo even further, and can activate fever mode where a second character will join you on stage and dance for the duration of the fever. This mechanic felt unique to me, as pros will most likely hit every single ring with no problem, but newcomers aren't punished if they can't reach them in time. Aside from this mechanic though, there isn't too much to separate it from other rhythm games. Where Dancing All Night excels at is its presentation. All of the character models look spectacular, and the song selection is surprisingly varied. The tracklist itself may appear to be on the smaller side compared to similar games. Some songs do in fact have a remix and a normal version, but the remix is so different from the normal one that it feels like a completely different song. But free mode isn't all that free. Songs are character specific, and only 4 to 5 partners are available for each song. This would be a deal breaker if it wasn't for the fact that each fever segment and each song has a completely different dance, despite the character being the same. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a bit bummed out I couldn't pair any character with anyone I wanted. Luckily, there is some customization to be had. in the form of the game's shop, where a variety of costumes and accessories can be purchased to make your character look different. There are also some items for purchase here that can make songs easier or harder depending on your preferences, which I highly appreciated. And that's really my favorite thing about Dancing All Night, the amount of options that Atlus gave you to use. If you don't want characters to talk during the songs, you can disable it. If the sound effect that plays when you get a note correct bothers you, you can turn it off. If for some reason you want to change the fever note sound effect to a Japanese girl laughing, you can do that too. The amount of detail that Atlus put in this game really shows. From high presentation value to customization, it's all here.
Persona!
Dancing All Night could have been a simple cash grab, with no story mode and minimal content, but instead they decided to exceed expectations, and make something I think all Persona fans should at least give a shot. So if you are a fan of the Persona franchise and think you might be interested in a rhythm game, I highly recommend this. And if you aren't familiar with the source material and are looking to get into the series, I think this is also a good place to start. So with all that being said, Persona 4 Dancing All Night gets my rating of 134 laminated camels out of a single used sponge.